The month of August, we're going to be talking about YouTube, but it's a little bit beyond YouTube. It's more about video marketing. So the first session is actually a lot of the things that were already being mentioned right now. That's why I let it go a little bit longer than typical, is about buying back your time. Now, hopefully Franco is still at a place where he can share, because there's quite a few questions that I want to ask him at the scale that he's operating in that would be helpful to the like the ultra extreme, because operates a massive business and a massive YouTube channel right now, all catered towards real estate. But just to give you a framework, or at least a roadmap of where we're going to be going this for this series, I want to share my screen for 2 seconds so you see where we're going. So we have the first week. We are going to be looking at buying back our time. So this is our session today. And again, if Franco is at a place where he can share a little bit more, I'll be asking some pretty direct questions to because he's gone through a lot of the bottlenecks, just outgrowing and outkicking his coverage every single month. So I think it would be valuable to kind of get his insight perspective. You're going to get the framework today, but I also want to get his perspective as well. The next week, we're going to go into the calls to action that are going to actually get people to call you, reach out to you, and become a client. Now, again, I know we're focusing on YouTube for the platform that we're creating for, but this goes and can be this could be adapted to any video marketing strategy wherever you happen to play video, whether that's Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok, now LinkedIn, quite a bit. So a lot of different places where you could leverage your video skill set. The week after that, we're going to go into viral YouTube videos working right now. So there's about 5 videos that are absolutely crushing it, regardless of the market that we're dropping them into. So I want to share what those are with you, along with the content that goes with those particular video topics. And then towards the end of the series, we're going to go into automating our YouTube channel. I'm going to be introducing a lot of the AI that we talked about in our last series, which was all about AI. So we did 5 sessions worth of AI. So that's how we're going to tie things up. But Franco, are you at a place where you can unmute, and I want to ask you a few questions here. I have a full roadmap here, but I like the practitioner's angle, and I'll drop this in the chat so everybody has it as well. But I like the practitioner's angle, and also because of kind of the volume that you're operating.
Yes, yes, Jaime. Sorry, because I'm on my phone. I don't know how to use it. I can't turn on the camera. I don't see how to do it.
You're good. You're good. You're good. I know I caught you cold. It's something that we didn't plan on, but again, just the business that you've built up, just so everybody is aware. I think today,
Mm.
you just hit 120,000 subscribers. I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah, yeah,
So 120,000 subscribers, and I believe you launched your channel, I want to say February of 2021.
correct.
So February of 2021. And within the first 6 months, he had a whopping 2 subscribers.
Yeah, it was crickets for 6 months. Yeah,
So there's hope for everybody. There's hope for everybody. He's here by next month, he'll hit 25 million views on his YouTube channel. Now, I'm not going to disclose too much of his personal business, but I will share enough to share that the volume that Franco is and the bottlenecks that he's experiencing thanks to his YouTube channel are quite massive. So he'll get 50 booked appointments per week that they'll have email, name, phone number, almost down to the social security number, where a lot of folks are highly invested in working with him because of the content that he shares and the brand that he has built. So, I mean, you kind of heard him talk about the listings and the buyers and how he works with them. But I'll shut up for a quick second. Franco, what's when it comes to right now at the volume that you're in, I think that applies even for those that might not be at that level of outreach at the moment. How are you using YouTube to buy some of your time back? How are you able to leverage YouTube for your business?
yeah. Well, to me, that was kind of the game changer, right? When I started talking to Jaime, I was doing door knocking, I was doing cold calling. That's what you have to do, getting out there sweating. I mean, and I was like, this is too hard. And that's why people don't do it. And even with that, you're like, okay, if you're willing to do what nobody else is going to want to do, you're going to be successful. Work the weekends, work late nights, and that's going to be the difference. But it wasn't really working out, and I was like done with doing that way because I used to be a lender before I was a real estate agent, and with lending, it was a whole different. The rates are down; you just can get whoever you want. Uh, with this, that's how I started, and then with Jaime, what I found the consistency of what he had built that I could just model. So if you're starting, that to me is key that that all the stuff that you need, and it's way more advanced even now because he has a whole team that supports you with videos and all of that. But to me, it was like, okay, first, like what Odessa was saying, I was slow. How do I get more clients? And ultimately was okay if I want to be in front of the people. And I know because I was watching Jaime put out this series. I don't know if you still have it out there public, Jaime, where Jaime's like, this is how much money I made this week, and this is the whole breakdown of how much money you can make in YouTube. And I was like, what, 3 grand a month? Yeah, sign me up for that. If I could just get 3 grand a month, forget it. I have my base covered, right? And I'm like, okay, what is he doing? And I saw consistency. So really, just like anything else, if you're cold calling, if you're doing door knocking, whatever it takes, it's a numbers game, right? So what YouTube does, I was just looking at my video last night, 20, almost 30,000 views overnight. And it's not normal. That's some of the things I talked to my friend about it. I'm like, look, in 1 hour, there's already 3,000 hours of watch time, and that compounds. So it's kind of like having 2,000 people door knocking. Because she was like, well, how many people per hour? I'm like, that's 5,000 people, 5,000 people an hour watching the video. So imagine it's like having that ability to go door knock 5,000 times. It's never going to happen in real life, right? And then that does all that heavy lifting for you. So the way that you can compound, like in simple, in interest when you're saving money and you're putting in your retirement, that's how I see YouTube now, and I realize it. And it's funny because I had no idea what YouTube was and or how you can monetize it. But my 15-year-old son is like, Dad, can you sign this? Because they're gonna pay me because I'm doing my anime videos. And I reached this monetary thing. I'm like, what? And then that's when I started researching and I found Jaime. And I'm like, this guy Jaime, he was all over YouTube. He was the one talking about EXP. And because of my EXP stocks that I was buying stocks from EXP and they were just blowing up at the moment, I'm like, this got to be a good company. Let me check it out. And Jaime stood out because he was all over the feed, and there was other YouTubers, and I'm like, but this guy that he's doing YouTube and he's doing all this other things, and I'm like, once you focus on that the YouTube is going to be the vehicle, or if it's Instagram or whatever it is, your vehicle, you have to pick one, whatever it is. Then you got to decide you're going to put yourself out there. Now I see all these classes. Last year still the YouTube. Now it's AI. How to have a faceless channel. How to not do it yourself. Everybody's trying to avoid. And I understand that not everybody has the personality or wants to be, but I didn't. I didn't know how to record. I didn't know what to do. And Jaime was like, just record what you're doing. So literally, there I was, door knocking, about to go door knock, and I would show my flyers. I'm about to go door knock, and then understanding that when you do the instant stories or the stories, they go away. So it doesn't matter. Not overthinking it, just being consistent with it. But ultimately, as you have to kind of also bank with the fact that nothing's going to happen for a moment, but the algorithm is doing its thing. And if you start getting consistent with it, it's the same thing as door knocking, the same thing as cold calling, but just you're doing it here. And like I have a video that I made, the title that used to be my #1 video, but now it changed. How to buy land and dump a mobile home on it. Oh man, people love that. And I'm like, that's crazy. I don't really do that. But I was like, that's an idea that everybody keeps asking me. So whatever the questions that you have from your clients and the problems that they're sharing with you that we all have, that's what you talk about in YouTube. So you're multiplying your knowledge, you're multiplying what's happening, and in that kind of doing, just publicly doing what you're doing, then it becomes a process of having now a bunch of videos working for you. So that's really it. To me, it's this, now I'm looking for new things to talk about. And I basically have narrowed it down to 3 subjects or 3 areas that you have to give the people. If you use the formula, it will work. You have to talk about the news. What's happening with the news, the gossip, the Donald Trump, this, what did Donald Trump has been making me a lot of money right now. What did he do this week? He's talking every day. What happened this week? And then looking for the articles that support the news. How does it relate to real estate? That's the key. It's not just about, okay, deportations, who cares? No, how does that affect real estate? Reality with me. Hey, Franco, I'm illegal in this country. Are they going to take my house? I don't know. Let me find out. And then talking about, hey, if you're illegal, they're not going to take your house. This is what you could do, and this is how you could protect yourself, and all the issues that everybody has, right? Right now, I did a video of a DCSR loan, and the DCSR loan has been there forever. But I'm talking to a new lender that is trying to win my business and give me all the in and outs. I'm like, oh, let me talk about that. Hey, buy with no income, and I did like 3 people that are not even from the U.S. with the program. Doesn't matter if you're from the U.S., you can still get the deal, and then explained about that. And that thing blew up. And my team is happy because they're like, I'm so glad you promoted that because I don't have to ask any questions. Do you have 20% down? Let me see your bank statements. That's the qualification for that client. And then if they get through that filter, now they're talking to me or to my other agents that are actually working the clients, and then we're moving it quick. And I mean, I think we broke the record on one. Somebody called in the morning, they were right, they sent the thing. I talked to them in the middle of the day, and by nighttime they were writing an offer, and we got the whole deal done. I've never seen these people in one day. So that's the power, because what happens as you're sharing and as you're putting yourself out there, they get to know you. And to me, that's where the superpower is. When somebody talks to you after watching their videos, they've been watching you for 3 months, 6 months. It's not like people don't just watch and then book an appointment. They consume your content. They know who you are. They're asking me, oh, you're in Mexico today. I saw that you're going to Mexico in your stories, because I'm sharing a little bit of what I'm doing, because people want to know who you are as a person. And it's funny because I've been talking to my team about doing a video when I don't talk to them at the beginning, just saying, hey, you talked to my team and this is what happened, and this is, I know. And they're like, no, Franco, don't do any more videos, because they feel like there's like a celebrity status with the video situation, and now you're giving them way too much attention. I'm like, it takes me 2 minutes to do that video, and KV Core or Bold, you can pay for the subscription, and for $30 a month, you can click on the thing and you can immediately give them a video and say thank you. And I use that a lot with the people that have already been qualified, that already talked to one of my agents, that the moment they go into a deal, that's how I'm communicating without spending my time. And that really becomes very efficient. So to your point, Jaime, is the time that I'm able to free up is just tenfold. I could do 20 of those. Like, we do about 20 deals every month that hey, personalized. Hey, Jaime, I heard you did the inspection today, blah, blah, blah. It takes me 1 hour to do 20 of those. And the client feels like I'm part of the whole process. So that, I think, it gives you that ability to multiply yourself.
100%, 100%. So if anyone has questions along the way, again, this is kind of a little bit impromptu, but I want to have this conversation from the practitioner level, because I mean, we have a lot of them here. So
Yeah, I have one for Franco.
of course,
Franco, you mentioned sharing the stories a couple times. Are you taking your YouTube content and sharing it over to like Instagram and Facebook? Or are you talking about shorts on YouTube? Can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
No, it's my personal story, like about what I'm doing.
Okay, so in your personal Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, you're sharing stories.
And Facebook, yeah, I put them on Facebook about YouTube. And my
Got it.
team, though, but my team, Every time a video comes out, they put it there. You know, they handle that. So they're doing and then they put out a video, a weekly email to my 7,000 people. So just so you guys know the power, I had 0 people, and in 4 years it's 7,000. I think it's almost 7,500 now of people that I give them the thing. Hey, if you want me to give you an analysis, and every video I say this, drop your email and phone number, and what city do you want the analysis on, and we'll do it for you. I mean, I publicly say this week we're gonna do that analysis for that community, thanks to this client that asked, and we get like still on automated like 100 people, 200 people every week asking for that. And I never do it. I mean, if I did it all, that's all 50 states, all 50 count. I mean, it would be crazy, right? And I just take the ones that are the most important ones to really showcase. Where also I look at where the numbers work, where it makes sense. I mean, I give them like 3 successful places and then 1 do not buy here. You know, I would never buy there. And this is why. And then I give him a story. Hey, Franco, I'm in California. I'm in Compton. Compton, it's in a rough place, right? It's $1 million for a house. And I have 200,000 that I saved my whole life. And I right now I pay 1,500 for rent because I've been here for 30 years. They can't kick me out. And my payment's gonna be 6,000. I'm like, what the hell? You're gonna be with no money. You're gonna pay 6,000 to live in the same area for this. Why? And I kind of go intense, you know. And when you polarize a video and you bring some point of view, but it's not my point of view. Is let me just give you the point of view, because I always back it with, this is what Redfin said and this is what Zillow said. I'm not saying it. I'm just telling you what they said. What do you think? And then people start fighting with each other, and this craziness. But that's what gets the views.
Let's talk about that aspect for a quick second. That I want to make sure that we don't lose sight on that. So what Franco's referring to with this analysis, where is essentially it's a form of a call to action that he had or has in his videos. So there, it's folks will reach out and ask for a personalized analysis of their situation, their market, and if it makes sense or not for them to go on and purchase or do some sort of real estate transaction. Now, the reason I want to pause there for a quick second is to the concept, buying back your time and making things a lot faster for you, is with those types of calls to action, those types of scenarios, it becomes a very formulaic video for Franco. So where he doesn't have to spend millions of hours in research thinking, what's my next video going to be, doing all this analysis. Well, I mean, no disrespect to Franco, he does plenty of analysis and knows a lot of this already. But for him, when he introduces a different market, he already has some KPIs, he already has some metrics that he has in mind that he's looking for. And if that particular place, let's say Los Angeles, fits within that window, then he can confidently share, hey, this is a good area. Now, if it doesn't, same thing. He's not losing anything. He's just essentially playing the other side and sharing, it doesn't make sense for you at this time. So that right there, that concept is more of a series video. It's one that he created very purposefully. So he didn't have to spend 3 hours into research mode for that one video that he executes. So he's able to compress his research time down to, let's say, 30 minutes. I don't necessarily know how long it takes. That's maybe about right, but he's condensing that preparation time. So when he's executing on that video, however long it takes for him to record that video, let's say 45 minutes. After that, it goes into post, or this one's a live stream, no?
Well, I do it in both. I do it in both scenarios, because even when I'm doing videos, I'm like saying the question that came in was this, and I answer it so that I can keep that kind of structure going.
So that's really been one of his keys to pumping out 3 videos a week ever since 2021. Right, so he hasn't broken stride there. So with something that I fall into, something a lot of us fall into, is just that video creation resistance, where we just will be super motivated a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then fall off and haven't been publishing in the last 6 months. I myself am very guilty of that.
Jaime, something to that point, because I think it's important. 2 months ago, I'm traveling in Bali and with my son. I do a 1 year, once a year son and father. I have two kids. Each one of them gets to pick where we go. So my son's like, I want to go to Bali. The same one that I told you about the videos, because he's like an anime fan. And I'm in Japan booking a hotel that has a good background, because I'm thinking how I'm not gonna stop, and I'm not gonna like put videos in queue that talk about just random stuff, because they don't work as well. So I got to stay producing the videos the week that is happening, right? So if I'm going to go live, I'm going to go live today. Tomorrow I'll go live. Today, Tuesday, I'm going to record my video that goes out on Friday, because it gives my editor and my team time to do their posts and handle all of it. But I'm in Japan 2 months ago in Bali, and I'm like doing the videos from there, right? And the background looks like this right now. This is not my office. This is enough. And I carry a laptop and my camera and my lights everywhere I go, right? And I was just talking to Jaime, it's like, we got this thing and to fly to Mexico, but I have to make it where it fits in my backpack, because I can't throw that stuff under. I was in Asia, and they're like, well, you can only carry 10 kilos. My thing was, I already know, weighs 13 kilos. Oh, you can't. So I started putting like lights in my jacket to make the backpack fit. But my point is that never stops. Then last month I was in Barcelona. I went to the EXP conference in Barcelona, and I'm like, I don't. The connection here is horrible. I'm not going to be able to do live. So I go like on the where they have all the different vendors, and I'm like, hey, direct from Barcelona, I'm bringing you the latest. And this is what they just said in the room. Do you know Donald Trump's going to fire Jerome Powell? And everybody's talking about it, and like that. And then we go back to a little bit of like what's really happening, not just the news, but the important stuff. And if you are like thinking about it and been on the fence, we're getting amazing deals with rates of 4% right now, 4% to buy if you're going to live in the house. And if you don't believe me, just call, because some people don't believe me. They think I'm crazy, and it's like, but and then my audience will start protecting and defending what I say. I bought the house for Franco. He's not bullshitting you. It's real, da, da, da. So to me, it's kind of like that works perfectly. So having that consistency is key. And then so I'm in Mexico for a week. So I brought my thing. I'll do that recording today. Tomorrow I'll go live, because I already tested and make sure that the Wi-Fi works and everything is fine. Jaime's over there when he goes to his parents' house, taking a satellite phone, to make sure that he's got good internet. And it just becomes, the main thing is the consistency. And when I was thinking about this, and I saw all the different ways that there's some people that go crazy and do a video a day, a video a day, a video a day. I know some creators that do 5 or 6 videos a day. That's all they do. I'm like, how do you even sell anything if you're just doing videos? But I'm like, what you have to find for you, what is the number of videos that you can produce no matter what every week? If it's one, do one. But like, it's going to come out every week, no matter what. And I remember, because after 6 months of doing one video, doing a few stories, Jaime said to me, okay, it's good, but if you want to really be noticed, you got to be doing 3 videos. But one of my videos went crazy from having, 20 views. It got 5,000 views. I'm like, what? 5,000 views? Yeah, at 5,000 views, I'm invested. I'm going to do 3 videos a week from this point on. So for the first 6 months, no, for the first, I think it was about May, February, April, and May is when my video hit, that video. And then it started to go, to go crazy. And I'll share this with you, not to try to say anything like about me, but just so you understand the consistency. I was talking to some of my friends that are trying to do YouTube channels, and they're like, well, it's not where I'm getting paid like $200 a month, Franco. And then they get discouraged after they put all this work. My first day getting monetized was 16 cents. And I was like, yeah, I got 16 cents. Woo. And then the other day I made $1,000 in one day. I'm like, holy shit. But is it 16 cents that motivates you? Is it 1,000? To me, I was following Jaime's $3,000 a month, because I'm like, Jaime could do it. I could do it. He's giving me all the tools, and he has everything laid out. And he's like, just do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to invent the wheel. I'm going to just do what Jaime said. Just do it. When he told me, Franco, we need to have a talk. Why, Jaime? I'm spending 6 hours on my thumbnails. Do you like them? No. He was being nice. Well, they need a little work. I'm like, what's the deal? Well, I have a creator that will charge you $5 a thumbnail to create your thumbnails. I'm like, I don't know if I can afford $5 a thumbnail. That's $15, you know? But okay, I'm gonna take a chance, Jaime. I'm gonna take a chance. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna take $200. I'm not gonna go out to McDonald's this next month, and I'm gonna save that money and put it in thumbnails. And I mean, it's like I see the difference, you know. The thumbnail I put out, I don't know if you want to show it, Jaime, because the one I did yesterday. I did that thumbnail because now I got good at it. And sometimes my editor, the guy that produces the thumbnails, doesn't know the wording, or I think about the wording later. And he produced this thumbnail, but there was no words on it. And this one gave me 30,000 views overnight.
I'll,
And it was a thumbnail.
I'll share it right now, but I'm just gonna clip it because I don't want to throw out your personal business out there from the AdSense and stuff.
Oh, got it. Thank you. So anyways, that's just the main point with this all is if you choose that you're gonna do one video a week, just you gotta commit to it for a year. That's what I said to myself. I'm like, I'm gonna do this for a year. If nobody sees me, whatever. And then I kept getting, information from the different sources of the people that were like, it's happening. It's I see that if I do it the way I do it, I don't know if you're showing it yet, Jaime.
Yes. It's
Okay.
now.
But you see the wording, the wording wasn't there. I just put that in there. Emergency meeting -1.5. And then the other part says Trump goes against you. How did I translate? Trump se va con todo. Trump attacks full force. A meeting with the Fed is about to happen. Emergency. He says he's going to force them to bring the rates down by 1.5 points. He's been threatening this guy for the last 3 months. This is nothing different than what he said every day, and that just happened to work. But to me, it's kind of when you're in tune into that, then you start really seeing the ability for what your audience responds to. Some creators are like, Trump threatens Jerome Powell. Nobody cares because that's not juicy enough, right? And that part of how to make it juicy, I don't know how. I just been watching videos, and that's the other thing I would say I would do for at least an hour every day. I would watch other creators. What are they doing? What are they doing? What's going on? Because I'm scrolling an hour every day. We all do anyways. So now it's just, I go to recent, and then I go to real estate, and then I go to mortgages and news. Those are my three. Every day I still do it. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, there's 1 million views on this. Why? And then I start studying that, right?
Alrighty. I like that. I like that. One of the things that I want to make sure that we don't gloss over is that when it comes to the opportunity at hand, if you think about it this way, because some of us are going to get discouraged, myself included, when we get 100 views per video. That can be discouraging. But if you just frame it a little bit different, if you were looking for an opportunity, let's just say you made a video on how to buy a house and it got 100 views. Well, if you frame it and think about how much you would have to pay or how much promotion and how much you would need to work to get 100 people in one room for your buyer webinar, that changes a little bit. That changes things if you put it in that perspective. So how much preparation would you yourself need or undertake to do a presentation in front of 100 people, right? So here you have that opportunity in every platform that you look at: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok. So don't underestimate the power the access, the opportunity that you have at hand, and noting that that continues to compound, right? So if you're on the professional speaker, just to give you kind of the inside baseball here, if you're a professional speaker in our niche per se in the real estate space, on the, you know, where you're getting paid for gigs, it's going to be about $5,000 to go get paid on stage at the real estate conferences that you're accustomed to. That's the let's call it the low end. That's where folks will pay for you to come out and do some training. So I'm sure all of y'all have gone through some level of association events, if you will. On the lower end, that's really kind of where it starts, $5,000 for per speaker. On the higher end, the Gary V's of the world, the motivational folks that do you know, the closing, the keynotes, like the Ed Milet's of the world, the Jesse Itzlers, they'll command 200,000. So it's a big disparity. But at the end of the day, even that has its cap, that has its limit on how many stages you can hit per day. So some of them do have private jets that will fly around, blah blah blah, and rack up three to four events. However, here with your videos, especially here on YouTube, that just compounds over and over and over and over again. So again, I don't want to put anybody on blast or like disclose too much information, but if you look at Tammy has she's actively sustaining 3 YouTube channels right now. One for buyers, one for sellers, one for agents. And 2 of those channels are averaging over 100,000 views per month. So her buyer's channel is doing that. Her seller's channel is doing that. And Tammy, I don't know if you feel comfortable unmuting a little bit and sharing a bit of some roadblocks of, at this point, you're just getting so much inbound traffic to where it's a little bit disruptive to your normal day to day. So, I mean, these are all good problems to solve for at the end of the day. But if you want to share a little bit about what that's been like.
Yes, I am lucky. The Relo channel went off first, and that's to help people moving to Florida. But I found that my challenge there is that they don't know that they want to come to Gainesville, and they want my time to be basically, I call it a chauffeur, and just driving them around and tell them the differences between the areas, which are all on my videos. So I'm working through that right now so that I'm not wasting my time and trying to be very more clear and direct without, being abrasive. But I find that one takes the most time. The seller channel is what I started 3 months later. I find that is more enjoyable. The people are nicer for some reason. I don't know why. The leads started to pay off faster. I've already done 1 referral and I'm working on a 2nd referral now. So I'm not getting people in my area as much as I'm getting people that either have already listed their house and they want a different agent, or they're getting ready to list in the next 6 months and they want an agent to help them prepare. But I found that one is slowing me down because I'm the one who's going to vet the agents right now, and it's taking a lot of time to do all the research, contact the people, make sure that they would be a good fit. So that is taking a lot of time. And then the one for the agents, I did it only as a live each week because I didn't want the stress of having to make a video and go through the editing process and have it be more structured. But I find that there's like next to no engagement on there. And so I'm thinking I may have to change the lives and go with the different format that I'm doing for the other 2 channels just to get stuff going in that one.
Nice, nice. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. And one of the things that you mentioned there on essentially matchmaking, getting the referrals in place is something that Franco as well, experienced and experiencing right now. So how big is your team right now, Franco? Like your internal sales people? 10. So he's got 10 people that are doing the follow-ups right now, from the intakes, the referring business out, and just playing matchmaker there.
Sorry, Jaime, I couldn't unmute. But yeah, just so that everybody knows, for the first almost year and a half, I had 2. I started with 1. It was just me doing all the consultations, and then 1 person calling them and booking them. And then I graduated to me not doing any consultations, and they would do them all. And then 1 person receiving the phone calls and following up. So that's enough to do a volume of like at that point I think we were getting like 20 appointments a week.
That's all, Franco? That's all? That's huge. That's huge. Well, one of the things that I want to make sure we don't lose here in the shuffle as we're closing here. Again, this is more about buying back time. So I don't want to gloss over what some people might think is obvious, but think about the conversion, the speed to convert. So with YouTube, depending on the channel that you're doing, the conversion rate is going to be about 15 to 18%. So that's what you're looking at when it comes to YouTube. But even then, with the leads that are coming in, what you're going to notice is that sales cycle is so much faster. So by you investing the time today in the topics that you're addressing, being very purposeful, and if you click on that link that I shared, you're going to see the mega video that I recommend that you go ahead and create for your YouTube channel, which is basically teaching people how you work, so you stand out, so you're able to really get them invested in you. And again, if you just click on that link, you'll see the structure that we use, which is basically how to buy a house, how to sell a house, but with you. So what you're going to notice is that when people are reaching out to you, people are not necessarily shopping around any longer. They've already made the decision to work with you. So for us, the biggest thing is just to follow up with them and get that conversion. So the sales is much easier, it's much shorter, and a lot of it has to do with operating a little bit on faith at the beginning by creating those videos ahead of time. Because once the people start coming in, you're going to run into some of the bottlenecks that have just been referenced by Tammy, by Franco, myself, and other creators that have gone on to have a very successful YouTube channel. You're going to start seeing that your shift or your attention is going to go more. It could go away from the content creation, but you're going to want to hire either with technology or through people to support you so you can continue creating the content and not lose steam there. So technology, what do I mean? I mean, getting something simple as Calendly on your YouTube channel right now. Having a automated way for people to come and get onto your calendar. That was one of the easiest ways to leverage technology. Another way to leverage technology is have automated follow-ups for when the leads come in. So that first email that goes out, that first text that goes out, that first now as we're getting ready to integrate this into our workflow, the automated AI phone call that happens. So people can start you start curating that or building that relationship. So that's technology. Calendly, the automated follow-up, these are simple. This is just starting out. And there's other things that you can do on the back end to get people invested in you. Now, when it comes to leveraging people, essentially it's leveraging assistants that can do the follow-up with you. So one of the biggest things that you can do to help train those individuals to speak in the way that you speak is by recording and documenting everything that you're doing. So next time that you make that call to that lead that came off of YouTube, from Zillow, from anywhere, recording yourself on Loom, recording yourself on Zoom, recording yourself anywhere. So people start getting those up at bats. I'm sorry, people that you bring on will start seeing how you follow up with the up at bats that you get. Now, one of the things that I think, actually, I know, Tammy, you recently integrated, again, I'm sorry if I'm using you too much as an example, but from the, one of the things that Tammy recently integrated was a voice over IP phone number. So basically introducing a phone line that is dedicated for her online business, which is essentially what YouTube is. And all the calls that she's making from there, she's making off of that phone line because it records, it transcribes, it has an element AI feature there where it shows the next call to action. But it's a fantastic standard operating procedure tool. Basically, once she hires on her first ISA, then her second, then her third, then her 10 ISAs, they're going to go to those recordings and just listen to see the questions that Tammy's asking. So for her, it's going to be as simple when it comes to onboarding to where, hey, here's the phone line, listen to last 20 phone conversations that I had with the leads that came in, and ask me any questions at the end of the day. So the quicker that you can document what you're doing, the more leverage that you're going to find, the less disruptive hires are going to be into your business, so you can continue to focus on the thing that makes you money, which is essentially creating content, negotiating contracts, and getting them to close. Any questions before we head out? Sorry, this one's a little bit different than our normal formula, but I think we kind of got on this topic, and I just didn't want to change. I think it was a really good topic to discuss. All right, so as a quick reminder, so this month, the month of August, we are talking YouTube and only YouTube. Today, we're talking about buying back some time, and ultimately here 3 weeks from today, we're going to be looking at how to automate the entire, essentially the workflow, from how you create a video, how you intake people, and how you're essentially showing up to a discovery call for a 15-minute conversation with the leads that are coming in, and then sending them on their way to an automated follow-up as well. So that's kind of where we're going. So for you as a human, you as a creator, it's going to involve you creating the video, and then you coming back for the 15 minutes to have a discovery call, and then allowing the process to convert the rest of the way. Alrighty, well, I appreciate you, Tammy. I appreciate you, Franco. I know this is impromptu, and appreciate y'all sharing what everything that you're experiencing right now in your massively successful businesses. But outside of that, I'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all. Bye.